In the often overlooked realm of horse racing, where the spotlight typically shines on the riders themselves, Leroan Robinson stands as a pivotal force behind the scenes. As a seasoned jockey's agent, he has skillfully navigated the complexities of the sport, expertly guiding numerous top riders to achieve championship glory. In an engaging lifetime narrative featured on Quick Gallop, jhay.com, and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper, Robinson takes viewers on a captivating journey through his formative years in horse racing. He shares the challenges, triumphs, and strategic insights that have shaped his career, revealing the meticulous planning that drives him toward his ultimate destination. Join Leroan Robinson as he shines a light on being a jockey's agent and the vital role agents play in horse racing.
Speaking with Mr. Leroan Robinson, agent of Champion Jockey 2024, Mr. Radish Roman. Mr. Robinson, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, thanks for having me.
Also popularly known as Bredda down the track here. Any other pet name, sir?
Not for radio play.
Not all right. Okay, not for airplay. We are now 3 weeks fully from the end of that championship. Has it sunken in, and how are you feeling as the man who was the main person, the main driver behind that success?
Well, it's a good feeling, as I always say. Whenever you hear a good song, people normally ask who sing it. They don't ask who's the producer. So I would be like the producer behind the scenes. But it's a good feeling to know that I'm a part of that championship. Probably the best championship Kimberless Park has ever seen. So it's an overwhelming feeling. I'm more happy for Radish Roman more than myself, because I've been a part of a championship team with Dane Nelson for 4 years. So I'm more happy for Mr. Roman, and I hope we can do it again.
Well, you said you were part of a championship with Dane Nelson before. Who are some of the jockeys you would have worked with prior to Radish?
It's been a lot of riders, but I started off with Dalton Brown. He's now riding in Belmont. Then after that is Harrison Lewis. I had Jabbar Simpson. I had Romario Sanders. I had Hakeem Pottinger. And then Dane Nelson came aboard.
And you were involved with just one championship with Dane?
No, I won 4 championships with Dane. I was Omar Walker's agent for a brief stint. I won the Derby and the Diamond Mile at that time with Mr. Walker, with Seeking My Dreams. So I teamed up with Mr. Walker for like a year after Dane went away.
Back to Radish and Tevin Foster 2024 battle. It must have been hard work. At one stage you were nearly 20 wins behind.
Right. But I was born with the confidence to believe in myself. You know, I always have a saying that if you don't believe in yourself, you're twice defeated. So I have a overwhelming confidence in myself. So even when the jockey was behind by 18, I kept telling Mr. Roman, don't worry about it, 18 is nothing for me. So I had to motivate Mr. Roman in that regards. And it was very challenging, but mathematically, I tried to just stick to the task, and I came out victorious.
It must have been difficult to get ride, because Foster was seeking ride, there are other jockeys getting rides. How did you work out getting good rides for Radish?
Well, as an agent, you have to know the category of horses and the availability of the horses, and also the health and the soundness of the horses. So that was kind of challenging for me at first. If you can't get the number 1 ride, you try to get the number 2 ride, and then motivate the jockey to beat that number 1 ride. So I think strategically, I kind of had it down to a science, and I just had my jockey believing in me. So I had to find out where Foster was riding, and then I tried to get a winner to beat that horse, or if I can't beat that horse, I get a win in another race to cancel out that win. So strategically, it was like mathematics for me, but the jockey couldn't vision it. I was telling him, so just believe, me have it. So at the end of the day, he said, boy, you're great. you're tough, you know. So that was a challenging part of it, to match out what Foster was riding or who he was riding, and then I tried to execute a winner to beat him or to cancel out a win with another win.
And you were almost an active part of the championship. Whenever Radish won, you would be in the winner's enclosure and the bantering. How much do you think that helped to motivate him and to push him forward?
Well, what happened, I'm a sports fan. I went to St. George's College, and I'm a lover for sports. So the enthusiasm and the momentum and the drive and the energy is always in me. So the fact that Mr. Roman was not riding for the top stables at the time, that was the motivating factor for me. And then to know that 80% of the track is voting for Foster, that was also a motivational factor for me. So when I go out there, as I said before, I'm very confident. So I beat my chest, I waved to the fans, and that was just, it was all in the name of fun. It was just good for me. It brought out the best in me. So the jockey fed off that energy and continued to ride well.
Being a good agent didn't come overnight. How did it all start for Leroan Robinson? How did you get involved?
Well, I started off with Dalton Brown. And as I told you before, I believe in myself. So it was not hard to adjust and transition into being a good agent, because when I go on the ground and I try to get rides, I started to understand how to approach each individual. Every trainer has their own persona, their own character, so you have to just study everyone. And by doing so, I start to adapt to how to approach each trainer individually. And then I got a knack of it. I understood the horses, I understood the condition book, and then it just became like ABC for me.
That's when you started, but what I really want to know is how did you get involved to become an agent? Who brought you here, or what made pull your interest into horse racing?
Well, I grew up in Waterford, so I've always been around the horses. Back in the days when Percy Johnson, Richie Johnson, Ian Spence, Steve Cross, Daniel Gazada, I used to be around them. So there was a bar next door to my home where they used to gather after racing. So I was fascinated with the sport. As you can see, I could never be a jockey, but that was my dream, because I looked up to those guys. I was fascinated with their lifestyle. So I liked horse racing at a tender age. So after that now, I used to go on the backstretch and watch the horses work. Newton Hepburn saw me one day and he said to me, "You know which horse is this?" And I said, "No." Let me say, Sunshock. And that was the only horse I knew at the time. So I used to look out for Sunshock every morning. And then, it just became a part of me. So being on the backstretch and engaging with the riders and starting to know the horses them and got my stopwatch and stuff like that, I realized that I could do more. I could contribute more to the game. So my dream is to become a trainer, but I wanted to take baby steps. So being an agent was the first step for me.
Tell me about your background. You mentioned St. George's College before, but tell me from basic school, etc.
Well,
You're from Waterford?
I went to Waterford Infant School, then Waterford Primary. I took my examination. They call it
Common entrance.
Common entrance. I passed that from grade 5. I passed my exam from when I was 10 years old. And then when I left high school, I had no vision, no aim. I guess the dream got shattered at an early stage because I lost my best friend who I looked up to. So after that, here comes Cable Spark.
Mm-hmm. You said a moment ago that your dream is to become a trainer. How far are you on that journey to becoming a trainer?
I think when the next training school class is called, I will be there. So I'm not too far off. I have a lot to learn. I'm willing to learn, but I think that's where I'm heading. No, I'm not losing my zest as an agent, but I think to train a racehorse is my passion, and I think it's a good transition in my life. I think I probably could alternate both of them at the same time.
Do you think the knowledge that you have and the aim to become a trainer, do you think that knowledge helped you in selecting the best rides for Radish?
I definitely think so. I think the love I have for horses and how I study them, I can tell when a horse is right from when he does not look too well. And I think I take that into being an agent. Sometimes I tell the jockey, that horse you're riding is not going to win today. Because I saw him last week and he looked much better than that. And then it worked out the way I said it. So I think with that form of IQ, I think I can easily transition into being a trainer.
How many jockeys do you have under your care at the moment?
Well, currently I have a upcoming champion, Tajay Suko. It won't take long for him to be a champion jockey. He has all the intangibles to become a top rider once he's under the proper care and guidance. I have Radish Roman, who's the champion jockey now. I have a female jockey. She has a lot of scope and potential to be great also. Her name is Joy Hayes, right? So she will be under my tutelage also. And I'm looking for big and great things from them.
Whilst you're on that subject, I realize Radish is kind of slowly out the blocks so far this year.
I also going to take on Jeremy and Lewis also.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been here for a long while, and I think he just needs the help.
Yeah, I was just saying Radish, because I'm sure you would want to defend that title.
Well, I wouldn't say he's slow at the box because I told him to take a month off because we put in so much work last year, and I even alluded to the fact that Trevor Simpson used to take a month off and then come back in February. So he insists on riding and keeping his body together. So I think the lethargicness that is being shown now is because of the fact that the agent is not pushing out as much so far. I have not tried to solicit as much rides for him because I just think he needs a cool down. So yeah, but as a sports fan, you have to deal with time management for the athletes.
Recoup and recover.
And to recoup. I believe in that. They can't just keep going and going. So I can't tell him to stop because he is the breadwinner of his family. So he has to come out. But for me, I just won't put him on a lot of rides to overexert himself in the beginning of the season.
What is a day's work like for Leroan Robinson before you come to the track, while you're here, and how long you spend at the track on any given day?
Well, it's been said that I live at the track. I'm almost here every day. I from Sunday to Sunday. I stay, I park in my car, and I work in my car. I walk the paddock. I have my days I choose when to walk from when to drive. And I take my work very seriously. So I'm here most of the time between 5 and 5:30, and I leave like 6 o'clock in the evenings. Depending on if we have a 2-day carnival, I probably leave later than that. Plus, as I told you before, I go to the stables and try to learn much about the horses.
Leroan, you have been here for a while, be it physically or from afar as a youngster. Which is the best horse you have seen race here?
That's a tricky question because, it's just like the comparison with Pele and Messi. It's like different eras, different turf, different tracks. The track changes and one might judge a horse because of what we see now. But I've seen Legal Light, I've seen Royal Dad, I've seen Townbird, I've seen Obi Kanobi, I've seen a lot of them. But I think the horse that showed me the greatest heart is she's a Manita. I think she won at Eddie Journey, 5.5, 6. She defied top weight. She beat all the men horses. I think she's the best horse I've ever seen, as far as heart and ability.
And if we go jockey?
Well, the best jockey I've ever seen ride would be Amelia Rodriguez. I still have that Miracle Cure race in my head.
Red Stripe Caribbean Sprint.
Right. I think that's the best race I've ever witnessed. I think he's the strongest jockey I've seen right here. But, my love is with Dane Nelson. I think Dane is a natural. Dane is not a rider, he's a jockey.
And he's a Waterford man.
And he's a Waterford man also. So, Dane, you have jockeys and you have riders. Dane is born a jockey. The Andrade, Bloodstream, the Robert Reed, you know, the Nelsons. It's a collaboration of just raw talent. So he was bred in the purple. So for me, Dale has won 1,200 races here and almost 400 races in Canada. He has won 2 championships in 1 year in Canada, which is Century Mile and Century Down. I mean, people might disregard the fact that it's Canada, but I think we should embrace those type of performance from a Jamaican going overseas. And I would have him as the elite also. But Emilio Rodriguez for me is the top, and then Dale Nelson. We're not putting aside that Georgia song, but I've never witnessed it. So the question you ask, I have to answer it based on
what you saw.
But on what I see, yeah.
And trainer. What about
well,
trainers?
as an agent, you have to be careful who you put as the best trainer. But I think we have very good trainers here. Reason being, our horses are lame, most of them. Our horses are very lame horses. For our trainers to get them to run, race day in, race day out. I think our trainers are the best trainers here. We have a lot of good trainers here. Some of them just need the opportunity. They need the chance. So I don't have a best trainer. I have good trainers here, and I love working with them.
I am sure in your journey you have persons that have been kind to you, persons who have helped you along your journey.
A trainer by the name of Garrett Ascott. Garrett Ascott, they call him Yappy. He was the one that taught me how to read inside of the condition book. He was the one that took it from me and said, this is how you check it. So I have to give kudos to him first and foremost. And then Patrick Wackledge. He was my main motivator. He still is. I admire his style. He just have a calm demeanor, and he's a very good trainer. And he always give me good advice as a friend and as a trainer. So those 2 trainers, they motivate me. And then I have jockeys like Dale Nelson who always stay on top of me. I can't sleep. You know, if I take a day off, he stay on top of me. So I would give credit to those 3 guys who they play an integral part in me being a successful agent.
And what about family in the background to support your many long hours here at the track?
Right. I have a long life girlfriend she travels back and forth. I don't wish to say her name, but she is my backbone. Also, my mom and my dad who are still alive. My mom is 71, my dad is 70, and they stay on top of me. So they definitely would be a source of contribution towards my success also. But as far as being at the track, Garrett Ascott and Patrick Wackledge.
You mentioned Suku as a future champion, and you have the defending Jockeys champion. What can you say to your fans and their fans about what to expect from them this year?
Well, this year is my main focus will be on all my riders. But you know, the apprentices, they need special attention. It's like, you know, having kids. So I think Mr. Roman won't just ride off in the sunset. He won't quit. So I'll be paying attention to Mr. Roman, but mainly on the apprentices that I have. Mr. Soko, he needs strength and conditioning. So I'm paying attention to that, taking him to the gym. And you'll see bigger and better things from my riders. Very professional behaviors, and more hard work from me.
And you also have a female in the batch, and we know this is a male-dominated sport. So I would imagine she needs even more attention to keep her just active in the sport.
And surprisingly enough, Joy Hayes, she's very, very advanced. She know a weak spot. She went to the gate the other day to try to break horses from the gate. So she already attacking her weakness. And I think she will be like the surprise of the batch. She probably can't ride as well as Samantha Fletcher right now, but I think she's getting there and she will surpass that. Trust me.
On that note, Bredda, we want to thank you. Again, congratulate you on your success from last year. And all we can do is wish you all the best going forward. You and all the jockeys that you work with.
Yeah, man, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from QuickGallopJaya.com and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for other enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.